So the paper is title is Asian Integration and Connectivity Growth, and what we started out trying to see was we kind of like look back and see what Asian country, particularly in East Asia, has been doing in the last couple decades. We have found that basically they are implementing similar type of trade and investment policy, basically trying to implement export-led type of economics policy. And as a result, we ended up with different result basically. And we have found that some of the country has been able to develop and moving closer to the more advanced level of economic development. In some other country, after a period of after a period of growth, then they got into some different problems. So what we trying to look at is we start thinking about what they have done in terms of trade liberalizations, and we basically find that in trade that will lead to development growth will follow two different parts basically. So we have trade development that lead to an increasing volume of trade. As a result, we have an improvement in productivity, and if they are following this path, then we are going to be expected sustainable development growth in the future, and we have improved living standard. And an alternative path would be we have trade liberalizations, the volume of trade increase, and then we ended up with an economics expansions in the short run. And then this would later on would link to productivity growth, or whether they are going to be a strong productivity growth, or they are going to be a weaker productivity growth as a result. So if that lead to stronger linkage to productivity improvement, then we would expect a sustainable type of development. If that link is weak, then the country will get into some different problem that we have observed. So what we trying to do is we are going to look at the trade liberalizations as policy instrument to growth in East Asian country, and then we trying to see if there is a possibility of adverse effect that could result from this type of policy. And there's a possibility of two different effects that we have seen in theoretical concept. First is that the trade could lead to what we call an immeasurizing growth, where terms of trade has been worsening, and it actually have an adverse effect on growth. And the other part is that if growth is actually supported by productivity improvement, and then we will be experiencing sustainable growth. Now, by looking at trade and productivity relationship, we do some review, and we found that some of the literatures in the past has been talking about trade having an adverse effect on growth in at least for three reasons. First is that if we look at in terms of long run growth and in the endogenous model, some of the paper has found that there's a mixed evidence that trade is actually lead to an increase in growth. And the second argument that we have found is that there's an argument that if trade draw more resource, more input, more resource into the less R&D sector, then it could lead to an adverse if it could have an adverse effect on growth. And the last argument is what Dr. Visans come up with, is that there's a possibility that if we have an increase in demand in developing country resulting from trade, and when income increase, we tend to have we will tend to have an increasing demand in more advanced type of products or more value-added type of products, and as a result, that will benefit the country that are producing those type of products, and the country who are not being able to catch up with productivity, and they will be having less growth in the long run. So what we aim at to do in this paper is that we trying to see if there is a linkage between trade and productivity in East Asian country. So the objective of this study is basically to see if we can link economic integrations to productivity improvement in East Asian country. And then the second objective is probably to find if there is a possibility of diminishing growth in terms of trade worsening as a result of growth. So the first thing that we need to do is trying to come up with some productivity measurement. So we trying to estimate total factor productivity. And in this paper, what we have done is we set up a production functions. And then with these simple production functions and 20-year depreciations at the 13.3% annual depreciation rate was assumed, then we estimate this production functions and obtain the total productivity estimations, and the initial result was look like this, and we found that there's a dip in productivity growth, in total factor productivity in 1997, where most of the Asian countries are experiencing an economic crisis, and after that we have an increasing trend of productivity growth in most Asian countries. And the next part would be trying to find a measurement for trade integration, so that we can find the relationship between those two.